with us today. So I'm really excited about sharing what I know about sustainability. And today will be an important topic since we're going to talk about sustainable leadership. It's not about basic leadership that we all know, but we're going to see some aspects of leadership and how can we sustain it over time and space. So I'll start by sharing my screen and we're going to start right away. I think I can share my screen, I guess, just a minute.
Hang on here, Yusra, we'll get you in. Oh, there are you, oops. Yeah, can you do it, Gulya? You're the...
Maybe Gulchera can do that.
Yeah, I think she can do it. Oh, here we go. We're recording pause. That's good, Yusra. Okay. I'm not the host anymore, so I can't do anything. Hi, Beatrice. Thank you for being here, everybody.
Hey, Beatrice is here.
All right,
Hey,
Yusra,
how are you?
I can do it now. I can do it.
Welcome.
Now.
Gotcha. Thank you for your patience.
I made you co-host, Yusra.
Thank you very much. Can you see it now?
Perfect.
Yes.
Oh, great. So, can you see my screen now?
Yes.
All right.
Perfect.
So I've been fond of sustainable development goals ever since I discovered this in 2022. Actually, it's traced back in time earlier than the year that I discovered it. But ever since I've discovered sustainable development, I tried to apply it to my professional life and even to my personal life. And I recognized that the sustainable development goals that have been already here for a long time ago. So today, we're going to talk about sustainable leadership in organizational learning. And I'm going to start to talk about first, what is organizational learning? How important is it in teachers' lives? And more specifically in career path development. After this, I will explain to what extent the Tesol International Association is a sustainable organization. And I will end up by talking about what is sustainable leadership and how can it be achieved through mentorship. So first, I'd like you to think about this question now, which is as follows. When was the last time you learned a new skill, a concept, or language for the first time? So think about it. When was the last time you learned a new skill, concept, and language? And how did you learn this? So you have different alternatives like you see. Did you learn this through a course? Did you learn this from a speech or after listening to someone talking about it? Was it following a training, like a hands-on training? Was it an inspiration from a family member, a friend of yours, or within an organization? So feel free, please, to type your ideas in the chat box. So let's see, when was the last time you learned a new skill, a concept, or a language? Good. I can see some answers here. So Ferouz said, most of the times I learn it on my own. Liz said from ChatGPT. Linda from a friend of yours. Internet is the best. Teaching online, through a course, from Afroza. Great. So I'm going to share with you now my experience learning a foreign language apart from English. So what do you expect this to be according from what you see on the screen? So feel free to enable your microphones or you type in the chat box if you want. Hindi, okay, Ferouz.
Yeah, Hindi, because I was in India for 2 years and I'm familiar with, I know India like the back of my hand, so.
Great. And apart from the Hindi language, can you recognize another skill?
is that something with to do with
A little bit on
Meditation.
meditation and yoga. If you focus on the bottom left part of the screen,
Yes.
you will see that I was active, and actually I'm a yoga coach. I've learned Hindi and yoga through organizations. So, and specifically, thanks to the Embassy of India and Tunisia. So I was inspired by colleagues who were practicing yoga actually. And after traveling to Thailand, when I went back to Tunisia, I said, where can I learn yoga and I can practice this on a daily basis? So I started online where I can do this. And I recognized the Embassy of India and Tunisia is providing free training to learn yoga and the Hindi language. And this was an amazing experience, as you can see. Apart from this, learning a foreign language, so this is like the storyboard, how I learned and I was active within the English-speaking organizations in Tunisia. So as you can see, like I have almost 17 badges from the American English for Educators webinars. I am attending face-to-face workshops at the US Embassy in Tunisia. I was attending this like in 2014, 2015. And I contributed as a teacher trainer to deliver a workshop with the American Corner in Tunisia for teachers how to use podcasting for educational purposes. So the question here, is it only learning to acquire milestones and achievements and certificates, or is it learning a set of skills? So as far as I'm concerned, the two experiences enabled me to learn what we call transferable skills. And I've learned these skills and I've applied them in my daily life, personal and professional life. Let me guide you in this short meditation. You ready? Okay. So, welcome everyone to this exceptional visualization exercise. Imagine now you live in the year 2030. How would the world look like at that particular time? I want you to visualize the city you'll be living in. How would it be? What about the people you'll be interacting with? How do they look like? How do they behave? Now, I want you to visualize how your working day would be like. So try to visualize this from the moment you wake up until you reach your office. Or would you be working online or maybe hybrid? So I'll give you a few seconds to take this walkthrough in your mind. Now, I want you to think about the community you'll be interacting with, the people you're dealing with on a daily basis. How can you bring a positive impact to these people's lives? What can you learn from these people? Now, I want you to go back to the present moment, as if you are on a spaceship. Think about the present moment. Think about your current community now, the one you're dealing with, the one you're working with. How can you transfer the set of skills you learned from the future community to the present moment? How can you leave an impact on people's lives? And now, open your eyes, please. So I'm interested to know how you felt. So please feel free to share your feelings, either on the chat box, or you can enable your microphone if you want.
I was trying to think of anything and everything which was the latest high tech. So it was quite a futuristic scenery around me. Yeah, lots of flying cars floating around in the sky, and people were all, wearing those techie suits. So like it was very just like in the Hollywood high tech movie stuff, very futuristic. I couldn't think of anything else besides those things.
Great, great. Thanks for sharing, Feroz. Thank you very much. And what about the community you'll be dealing with? Like, would they be like working maybe in person, maybe online, maybe hybrid? So Linda said, I was seeing fast and efficient public transportation. Yeah, good idea.
This is maybe a wish.
Yes. Okay. And like, do you see like maybe we can learn things from AI? Would it be a world dominated by AI? Or maybe a world which seems like the iRobot movie, or like Farouz said? So let's see, someone has typed. Okay, that's a nice idea. So Sirochiak Mariana, I guess she said everyone has a personal assistant robot. That would be amazing. A robot that can drive for you, cook for you, do everything, right? But to a certain extent, it's good to have a robot as an assistant, maybe to delegate things to a robot, I guess. All right, thank you for sharing, everyone. So now I'm going to move on to talk about, since we talked about communities and I started talking about how important is it to learn within people, because things, they don't just focus on the personal well-being as well as the collective one, because there is the communal status. So we live in a community, we live within a society, and the interaction is inevitable. So let's see together, first, what is organizational learning? So first, there is a difference in there that this should be explained, which is organizational learning has been confused a lot of times with organizational development and knowledge management. So these two, they overlap in certain areas, but more specifically, they target effectiveness. So the initial focus is on talents, be it talent acquisition or talent recognition. For example, you can be a very talented person, but you can't recognize this in yourself. It is within the group that someone can really recognize some talents that they were just there, but need to be dusted off so that they can be recognized. How? It can be done within organizations. In what? Let's say the success criteria, the final result. So this really relies on tools. So we can see the tools that can be through the infrastructure, like websites, like online courses, training. The philosophy, it's related to the mindset. So the growth mindset here is essential. So we cannot learn within a fixed mindset. And most importantly, all of these, they give back forth to the impact and the effectiveness. So it cannot be, if you can only be effective only by achieving the previous points. Now, the disciplines for learning organization. So here, to talk about a learning organization, we have 5 pillars. The first one is the system thinking. So it's good that someone has goals in life. You can have the best goals in life, But if you don't apply them within the right context, you can't achieve any milestone. Personal mastery. The personal mastery here is essential. So I wanted to start with a short visualization exercise because I wanted everyone to go back to that inner space. So the personal mastery is important because if you don't manage your thoughts, if you don't manage your goals, don't expect others to do this for you. The mental models, and mental models here, I'm speaking about some limited beliefs. Sometimes, most of the times, we're born with a set of beliefs that they are enforced within family, within school, within organizations, and they're not necessarily the right ones. So how can you evolve with the limiting beliefs, with a set of beliefs that do not enable you to achieve success? So that is to be reviewed. Building a shared vision. It's not only about yourself, but a group vision. And of course, you can do this through a team and you learn together. So here, this leads to what we call a learning culture. So learning by your own is something amazing. Imagine learning in a group. So there's a quote which says like 2 brains are better than 1. This is it. So here, the learning culture, and especially here, the organization culture is like a freeing system. So you free yourself. There's an expression by Deleuze, it's called the deterritorialization process. It's like you're not on the ground anymore. So you go beyond that space. You encourage people to experiment. Feel free to learn, feel free to fail, but fail in a better way. Work together, help each other, be supportive, share professional development opportunities without keeping them to yourself. It's good that you and everyone else, we share our achievements online, but what about others? So here, the ego should be dissolved so that we achieve a collective success and collective achievement to be celebrated as well with others. So my experience started a while ago with my dear Tunisia Tesol Association in 2014. I'm sure if some of my colleagues from Tunisia now they're attending with me the webinar, you can recognize yourself if you attended the conference, but I'm here. Here is it. I might look tiny, but I was present there and I was really amazed to be part of such a community. And ever since that moment, I've started to be inspired and empowered by colleagues and through that experience. And I've started to attend any teacher training opportunity, any professional development opportunity that I was very proud of. But as I said, it's not about certificates. It's not about accumulating the awards. It's more about the transferable skills and what I learned. And after a while, I was inspired by someone who is amazing. And she inspired me to join the Tesol International Association through whatever she was sharing on social media. And after I joined the Tesol Association, I attended my first convention. And I was really amazed by the platform and by the colleagues, the interaction, the empathy, everything that was shown at that particular time. And the journey did not end up there. I wanted to know more. I wanted to acquire more skills, more knowledge about teacher development. So I took these 2 learning opportunities. The first one was the LDCP, which is available free for Tesol members. And the other one is the Trainer for Trainers, in which I learned how to develop an action plan for teachers in my community. And that is why I joined the Tesol Association because I have seen a lot of benefits, and I'm really happy starting from that moment until now, because I've worked on myself, and I guess I'm inspiring others, and I hope that I'll be inspiring others in any possible way. So these are some of the advantages why those who are not already members in the Tesol Association, International Association, you might really consider joining. It's an amazing learning space. There are what we call the communities of practice, that they seek to achieve a common vision and mission and core values. So I recognized myself these two communities, which are the Career Path Development PLN and the Arts and Creativity PLN. So I'll tell you briefly about my experience when it comes to the CPD PLN. I've started attending the webinars, and every time there was an announcement that Linda posts something or Liz posts something, that's an important CPD, I should attend. And after attending every one of them, I was inspired. I still remember Pac Willie's presentation, and I'm a follower. Yes, I'm a follower online. So Linda, you wanted to say something?
No.
So Pac Willie is an amazing inspiration. So I learned how to call him Pac Willie according to what the community calls him. But yeah, everyone is sharing amazing, and he's co-writing. He's such an inspiration. Like it's a non-stop CPD with Pac Willie. And when it comes to the Arts and Creativity PLN, I was inspired by colleagues talking about the teacher experience. So I said, why not? I don't share my experience. So I started just posting on the PLN's discussion group, and I recognized that a lot of people, they do share a lot of things with me. So, and I was active at that particular time to deliver a workshop for teacher trainers, how to teach using podcasts. And the colleagues there are amazing. And every, let's say, end of the year, we submit what we call the 60-minute.
60 seconds.
60 seconds, sorry, 60 seconds. Oh my God. I'm still in the spaceship, the vision. So the 60-second audio or video recording in which everyone shares insights, milestones, anything that he or she wants to share with colleagues. And it's amazing how these two PLNs, they collaborate together alongside with the other ones, because we do have, like you see, 13 PLNs and 20 interest sections. So, and they all operate within what we call the principles of excellence. So we seek excellence, be it for our students or for our trainees. So at all levels. So it all starts by knowing more about the people you deal with, P1. P2, you create nice and safe conditions so that everyone can learn without competition, without envy, without any prejudice, without any discrimination. So all in good vibes. P3, it's how you design, whether is it a lesson or a training program. So it's applicable to both. I try to apply this even to my training sessions. So P4, how you adapt. It's not about just projecting what you know and that's it. It's you try something, you adjust, you review, you test it, you assess, and you go back to review again until you reach the learning target. And of course, this should be done by monitoring and assessing how language is taught or how the training is conducted. And of course, by engaging everyone in this. It's inclusive. So shifting to talking about leadership now in a much more deeper sense, and how can we sustain this leadership? First, what is sustainable leadership? So I'm not going to ask you this question for now, but feel free, please, to take notes if you want. We're going to exchange ideas in a few minutes. Think about your perception to sustainable leadership. What can it be? So I'm going to start first by understanding together what is leadership in a way. So the word cloud that you see on the screen kind of summarizes some words related to leadership. So a leader should be someone who's empathetic and should show certain types of values and ethics. And first and foremost, be an inspiration to other people and lead by example. And as you see on the screen, so you can add more words to this leadership. I'm really interested to know what kind of words can you add to this word cloud. So you can type them if you want in a chat, please. So what is leadership for you?
It's a wonderful question. And recently I was asked during the cheering interview, and I dominated the interview by, providing choke full of examples of what leadership could mean. And I tried to provide the essence of leadership, that it's all about, deviating from the context of ELT, leadership is all about serving the people. And when you are about to create those PLNs, and basically you are about to serve the ELT community, in other words. So, leadership is not about just leading by example, but actually assisting people in trying to make their life better. And those words and expressions and concepts are quite synonymous and interchangeable, that the essence of leadership is all about helping people and making their life better. And this is why we are living on planet Earth.
Of course. Thank you very much, Ferouz. Yeah. And what you said is serving, and serving is essential. If you're not ready to serve, you're not ready to be a leader, because bringing the best out of people should not be about yourself. It's about them. So as I said, the target audience, the people that you want to improve lives, are part of your community. So just like for your students, the teacher talking time. So would you be just there lecturing and talking without engaging your students, checking whether they understood or not? So it's the same, and it's interchangeable, like you said. So let me check their here some points here mentioned in the chat. Communication. Yes, communication is important at all levels. Yes.
I'm so excited about your comments and this slide. It is really important. And I think the kernel of this presentation, what I wanted to say is that we get into this power thing, right? Leadership means you have power over the other one. And you have to be very careful, because some people really want to have power over them. They want you to be a power figure. And so you have to, as a leader, you have to get the ego in a place, in a part. I mean, you have to have ego. Everybody has ego. It's not bad, but it can't be the driving force. I'm talking too much. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. That's amazing, Liz. That's amazing. That's power and empower others, like you mentioned. And it's all about taming that ego. The ego is there.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
There's one more interesting point to add. Leadership is all about delegating the task and responsibilities. Sometimes it takes a good amount of leadership out of a leader, a so-called leader, a manager, to be able to divide the task consistently and in a very systematic manner, so that everybody knows what to do, when to do, and where to do. So the entire system works like a machine. And this is what the leader's job is, to transform the team into a single working machine. And for that purpose, you need to be able to carefully and wisely delegate the task and responsibility to each and every individual, so that they know that they are part of a greater team, so they have a role and a function in that team. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Ferouz. But I really disagree on a point. Allow me to disagree with you. I don't see it like a machine. because after all, we're human beings. We're going to see with the sustainable leadership, the functioning system, it can be like a rhizome, it can be like a cell, it can be like a body. So I still need to focus on the human aspect in here. It's like we're all on the same boat. So the metaphor that we can use can be something really, or should be maybe something relevant, and the human aspect should be there. So that's why just tune in for the next point. So here, to sum up everything, there's no one size fits all approach to leadership. Everyone has his own style. So in the formula here is like, it should be adapted to the environment. It should leverage the natural strengths and skills to accomplish a mission. So whatever is it, wolves can be leaders in their pack, fish as well, birds in the sky. So leadership is like part of the universe, part of the system. And there's no one size fits all. So as I said, it even differs in time and space. For some people, leadership can be like, that's it. That is whatever I say, that's it. You should all follow. That's more of a bossy vision to leadership. But here today, we're going to see what are the humanistic aspects that we should focus more to achieve the sustainable leadership. Here I'm relying on one of the photos available on the Tesol website for amazing colleagues attending a convention, the Tesol convention. And now the floor is yours. And please, I'd like you to tell, before we dive deeper into the sustainable leadership, how can you perceive sustainable leadership? So leadership, we've just tackled it in a way. So, but now I'm interested to know, how can you see the sustainable approach to leadership? So you can type in the chat, or just like, you can enable your microphone if you want.
May I jump in?
Oh, sure, Farouz.
Okay, so imagine a bicycle, a cyclist riding a bicycle. So for the bicycle to be constantly get going, it needs to be in motion. So sustainability, in other words, to me is perceived more like a bicycle which is constantly moving forward. And that entire picture gives us this visual representation of what sustainability is. It's like a constant movement towards a particular destination. In this case, towards a shared goal. Because a leader, after all, drives and leads the team towards the shared goal, which is shared by the team. So that's how I see so far.
Thank you for sharing.
You don't need to share your screen. I'd like to see all the people. Can you stop sharing your screen? Because I think we know the question.
Okay, I'll stop sharing.
Hi, everybody. Yay. Go ahead, Yusra. I interrupted you. I apologize.
It's okay, it's fine. So I'm going to take you in a journey now when it comes to sustainable leadership. But before this, there is a clarification which should be done at the level of terminology, because sustainability has been a buzzword. A lot of people, they're using it nowadays, talking about sustainable goals, but it's not recent. We started talking about the Millennium Development Goals back in a time, and there are 8 goals. As you can see on the screen, they have been in what we call nowadays the SDGs. There should be, I'm sorry, there's a typo. They should be achieved by 2030, okay? I've written today's day. So the 17 SDGs, as you see on the screen, I tried to apply this to teacher associations. And as I explained previously, so sustainability, and as the metaphor that Farouz used, so the biking and a bicycle, so you keep on going, you keep on rowing if it's a boat. So it's about consistency. It's about long life learning. It's about leaving durable impact. It's not only about the environment. So I've tried to define what is sustainability from a dictionary and from AI. So here, the same explanations, apart from the one provided on the UN's website. So they'll list to sustainability. So it should be durable when it comes to the environment, when it comes to society, when it comes to economy. And these should be achieved according to the Global 2030 Agenda of the UNESCO by 2030. So that's why I did the visualization exercise at the beginning of the session, to let you imagine what it can be the future. And the 3 pillars, there are what we call the 3 Ps for sustainability. Once you plan anything sustainable, ask yourself this question. Does it include the social dimension? Does it include the environmental measures? Does it help for the economic growth? So these 3 Ps that we call, and these are the 3 pillars for sustainability. And to sum up, not the presentation, but to sum up, when it comes to the leadership, the sustainable leadership, the key words here, it should be lifelong, like forever. When you build up foundations, for example, to an organization, it's not only for this particular time. It should be lifelong for you and for future generations. It should be prospective, responsible, goal-driven, and durable, and most importantly, inclusive. So if it does not include everyone, you should revise your statement. Next, I'm going to focus now on the SDGs that are related to sustainable leadership. So I found out that there are 10 SDGs related to associations, which are as follows. Okay, so these SDGs, they're goal number 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 16 and 17. So I'm going to just talk briefly about every one of them in a nutshell. So when it comes to goal 3, when you are learning within an organization, as a learner, or maybe as someone who's preparing a learning program, keep in mind the physical and mental well-being of others. It's not only about learning, it's more about empathy, understanding others, expressing what we call the differentiation. So you adapt the program, maybe you give them much more accessibility features. If it's a lesson, how can you do that? And of course, goal 4 for quality education, how can you deliver the best outcomes? How can you deliver, let's say, excellence in education? And excellence, I mean, not the best building in the world, or like the course which contains like the latest AI technology. No, it's about the most tailored course to the learner's needs. And as a learner, when I take the course, your course, what can I learn? How can I apply it later on? And also, when it comes to sustainable leadership, it should take into consideration gender equality. Everyone, without exclusion. So that is what we call the DEIA, commitment to diversity, equity, inclusion, and access to everyone, regardless of the gender, regardless of everything else. Next, the next goal, decent work and economic growth. So we should pay attention that your work environment is not the same as others. So you can have access to a decent work environment, but imagine those who work without even a roof on their top. Imagine, and it's here. That's what we're working on to improve as ELT professionals. Like, I'm not going to mention any part of the world, but I will let you go, use your imagination, maybe what you know from your background, from the communities you know. Do you think other people, they do share the same conditions? So now that's the question for you. And this is the question that I'm going to ask you by the end to summarize all this. So I'll let you take notes if you want at this level. Is it the same? If not, you as a person, how can you bring an impact to this? How can you change these people's lives? And finally, when I applied the sustainable approach to the Tesol in the mission of Tesol, it is a nonprofit sustainable organization par excellence, like we say. It gives equitable and inclusive access to all professionals around the world without discrimination, regardless of their race, ethnicity, gender identity, anything else. You only here and is here as a person, as a human being. So we don't deal with, so the cultural aspect is there. So that is to say, we don't deny the cultural aspect, but the Tesol Association embraces all these aspects. And that's why I can say, I recognize and I can say, but you can correct me if I'm wrong, that is applied 100%, but it's only should be recognized at that particular points. And that's what I noticed as a member within the Tesol International Association. And also the sustainable approach to leadership, it's like I said at the beginning of the webinar, I am here and everyone else. Today I'm in Tunisia, I'm based in Tunisia, but I'm delivering a presentation to colleagues who are watching this all around the world. So that's the importance of being a global member. And I'm a global member in the associations you see on the screen. For example, I'm the media and PR manager of Tesol Kuwait, and I live in Tunisia. And I'm consider being much more active in Africa, ELTA, and I'm based in Tunisia. And on the 19th,
Africa ELTA President Amira Salama is with us today. We're so lucky. Thank you.
I know, but Amira is going to be mentioned in a while, so stay tuned. So, because Amira has a great impact on my life, and I'm really grateful to Amira and for being my mentor. And I'm going to mention this in few seconds. So, my experience knowing Amira was during what we call a mentorship, the Climb Mentorship Program. In the Climb Mentorship Program, I wanted to use a video just to visualize the climb as I saw it, and I still see it as such. I climbed the mountain to see the world, but I did not climb the mountain so that the world can see me. So, in talking about the mentorship program, Amira, I can still remember the journaling phase. So how I set my goals and how I was interacting with Amira. Amira was here and is still here. And whenever I have a question or whenever, so she was present and she was moderating my goals, because the Climb program enables participants, for those who are attending the webinar and don't know what is the Climb program. So during the Climb program, I learned how to know more about my goals. What are my goals? So I learned how to draft them. I've written them down in this journal, and I exchanged with Amira. And Amira, if you're here and you enable your microphone, or maybe type, depending on where you are. I know Amira is busy.
I think she's traveling.
I know, yes. So the point here is that I've used what we call the KW. Sorry, just a second. The KWL chart. So I've did this myself apart from the reflection journal. So I said, what I know now, what I want to know after the exchange with Amira, and after all, what I'm going to learn afterwards. So, and I leave this in what we call the reflection journal with the Climb program. And this is Amira for those, I'm sure that everyone knows Amira, but for those who really see Amira for the first time, so she is an amazing Tesol leader, an inspirational one, and I had the chance of having her as my mentor. So Amira, she said, I'm here. She's in the chat. I know that Amira's traveling, so best of luck, Amira. And some of the milestones that I've achieved after the decline program is taking part in a virtual events. So I was a speaker with the University of Technology and Applied Sciences in Ibri. And that was my first milestone. The second one was writing an article, and it was published part of the Tesol Kuwait's newsletter. Second milestone. Third milestone, we've co-attended, not co-presented, but co-attended the We Mentorship ELT Summer Symposium. Mm-hmm. And that was an opportunity for all women leaders to interact together. For more information for those who want to join the CLIMB program, as a mentee or a mentor, I will leave the QR code here in the presentation so that you can scan it if you want, or you can visit the CPD PLN website. And you can have access to such a program. And last but not least, I'm really so happy to talk about the second sustainable experience that I'm really witnessing for the moment. Excuse me? Okay, so the SIG, the new SIG with the Tesol Kuwait, which was launched to establish more partnership for sustainable education. And I'm the SIG leader. And if you're interested in joining this SIG to contribute to more partnership for sustainable goals, it will be hosting learners, parents, academics, nonprofit organizations, public authorities, startups, anyone who is an enthusiast about the SDG 4, which is quality education. And finally, as a takeaway, so we talked a lot about competencies, skills, transferable skills, but can you notice that skills is only part of the diagram? In order to achieve, let's say, a much more inclusive and let's say a whole image to what we call the 4G education, knowledge should be there, your character as a leader or as a learner should be there, and all of this within the meta-learning framework. So you learn and you reflect on how you learn. And have a look at these two photos. So some people think that success is a linear line. That's it. I'm successful. Here is it. I've achieved and I've got this certificate, whatever. No, but the success path fluctuates. You try, you fail, you retry, you review, you ask, you seek feedback until you reach your destination. And this is my personal view to what is success. And it's based on a Japanese concept called the Ikigai, which is finding someone's purpose in life. For me, I'm applying this to my professional personal life. And what is Ikigai? It is doing something you love, doing something that the world needs from you. It's not only do it for yourself, doing something you can be paid for, and of course, doing something you're good at. So the intersection brings together your Ikigai. If you're interested to being one of my guests when it comes to my Ikigai, I've developed this into a podcast. Please feel free to contact me so that I can arrange your podcast. And thank you very much. I will leave you with this reflection question, and so that we can discuss maybe for the remaining time. I'm not sure, Linda, how much time do we still have?
Yeah, we have oh, you're muted, Linda.
We still have time?
Yeah.
So this is the reflection question that I'm asking to everyone present in here today with us. How can you apply a sustainable approach to your community or to your context? How can you bring the impact, and it should be durable? So now I'm not going to speak at all. So I'm just interested to know more about what you share. So the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you, Yusra. What a beautiful presentation. This is a great question. I think we have about 14 or 16 people with us now, and I invite those who have questions to just turn your mic on and ask your question.
Yes, we have about 10 minutes, so perfect timing for some questions or replies to your wonderful question.
If there are no questions, I can, provide some insights into your question. How can you apply a sustainable approach to your community? Actually, this is something I've been doing for the past couple of years in Uzbekistan, and because of which I caught a global attention, which is why I'm very close to going to the UK, because I'm inches away from having secured a 30,000 pound sterling UK award because of all those tremendous volunteering work that I accomplished in the past couple of years as the initiator of ETA Uzbekistan, which is more like a virtual association that brought about over 4,000 global educators as of now. And, these virtual, you can call it a PLN, you can call it an association, but it existed in a very short time, and it was able to, contribute to the well-being, to the professional development, as well as to the professionalism of all those ELT professionals all across the globe. And more specifically, it was able to, inject a greater vitality into the lackluster ELT picture of Uzbekistan, because of which more of those rural and regional teachers were able to be part of those global ELT conventions, as I constantly keep updating and putting notice about what's going on in the ELT world, like all those latest webinars and conferences like this one. I already shared it about like 3 hours before, and I believe some people were able to catch up with that notice. And I'm sure some of them will be watching the recording. So this is the way of, sharing and spreading the knowledge and know-how and expertise and insight. This is, it all goes back to that very initial idea of serving the people, serving the community. When I started this idea of serving the people as a leader, as part of, that SDG 4 quality education, little did I know what I was going to venture myself into. I didn't have any slightest clue what was about to come about. But now, from now, like looking back at those 2 years from now, I can proudly say, if you're about to, apply those sustainable approach to your community, be sure wonderful things are just about to come about for you. Because I didn't know what I was going to myself into. And now I am excited that because of all those past 2 years of accomplishments, now I'm going to UK as a proud scholar, and to one of the world's top-notch universities that most of the ELT professionals can only dream of, because of those volunteering work that brought out the leadership traits in me. And I was able to serve the community, both at home and abroad. And now I'm just about to, reap the harvest of all those work. So to all those people who are listening to us, I want to say, take any single opportunity and try to apply all that Yusra told you about SDGs. You can choose your favorite one and align it with your goals and ambitions and passion, and try to put it into practice. And I'm sure sometime down the lane, you'll be able to, proudly share your success story like I did, and you will have a greater chance of, pursuing your studies or research somewhere in the UK or US because of those volunteering work. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing, Ferouz. Thank you very much. And I'm sure that your community, they're learning a lot from whatever you're sharing. And it's all about learning from each other, most importantly. So Let's check if there is anyone who typed. I can see someone, Mariana. She said, I agree with shared knowledge and ideas. Anything that a leader can put in place so that when they step out, the work will continue uninterrupted. Shared leadership is one of the components of sustainable leadership. Thanks for sharing that, Mariana. Exactly. So it's like the omnipresence should be there, but at the same time, leaders should step out, step back, so that they leave some space for others to interact, to talk, to learn, just like in a class. So if the teacher keeps on talking, I don't expect my students to learn just from my lecturing style. So involving them is much more important. And the same for ELT, for the ELT community. So I'm interested to hear more from the others who are attending with us. So if please feel free to enable your microphone, to turn it on, to type in the chat. Where are you from first? And whether you see that your community is applying the sustainable approach or not. If not, how can you bring this to the surface, to your community? Can you just type just whatever you are from, just in the chat? I'm from Tunisia, by the way. So for those who joined a little bit late the webinar, so I'm interested to know, where are you from? Good. Feruz is from Uzbekistan. What else? Mark is from Tanzania. Welcome, Mark. Oh, nice. From Tajikistan, I'm sorry, Gulia. Welcome, Gulia. Oh, Luis is from Portugal. Hello. Linda is from Arizona. Mariana is from Pennsylvania. Good. We have people now from Tanzania, from Pakistan. Welcome, everyone. So now allow me to ask you the question. So did you recognize at least one or two goals that you consider maybe applying after attending this webinar? A global batch for Feruz. Good. Great. And by the way, if you're interested in more about being active when it comes to the SDG 17, I'm inviting you to join my SIG in the special interest group, so that we can interact together when it comes to sustainable education. And it's global, as I mentioned. So your location is not important, as well as your the engagement that you're ready to put into this. All right, so if I'll let you reflect on this question, maybe not for now, but maybe later on you can, when we share the recording, you can maybe post below as a comment, how can you perceive this in your community? Because this is only the beginning. So I just launched the idea, and it's up to you to use your imagination, to maybe to start this as a conversation, as a discussion. And it should be sustainable, as I said. So if ever you're interested to reaching out to me, so here are my contact information on LinkedIn or by email. And I've used the compass metaphor at the beginning. I'm using it at the end of the presentation as well, because leadership is all about giving directions to oneself and to our community. So the compass metaphor is important for me, so that I know where am I now in the time and space. And thank you very much, everyone. Here is my list of references. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yusra. That was really a very engaging conversation and presentation. Lots of wonderful ideas and lots of things to go back to think about. So I think we all really appreciate you, and you're taking the time to present this. And also, I'd like to let everyone know that if you would like to rewatch or see this again, we will be putting it up on our YouTube page. I put in the chat box our website that you can go to, and that will have all of the information as well. So thanks again, and please share our website and the YouTube channel so that others might be able to take a look at Yusra's and other webinars that we have done. We really appreciate you, Yusra. Thank you so much for your time and energy and efforts that you put into this for all of us. And thanks to Liz for being here, Liz England, our founder of our CPD group, and Gulchera Gulia, thank you for being here. She is a member of our leadership team and taking care of tech for us today. And I think I saw Afroza Tina was here, so, or maybe still is here. Thank you, Afroza. Afroza is also a new member of our team from Bangladesh. So, and thank you to our audience, to everyone who attended. We had a lovely international group today. It was wonderful. And for all of your participation and comments. So look for our next webinars will be coming up, and I will post them on our Facebook page and our Tesol page. So thanks again, and we will end it there unless anyone else has any further comment.
Thank you, Yusra. Great job.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you all. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Enjoy your weekend.
Same to you. Thank you very much.
You too.